Okay, golf in Japan. We're back online, in person, in video. Who just unzipped their zipper?
That was me, sorry.
You wrecked my intro, bro.
There is a toilet, Joe.
We're back with the full crew. So welcome back, Joe, who's on my left. Hello,
nice
Joe.
to be back.
Ryan, who I can't see because of the computer screens that are in front of me.
Lucky you.
And of course, Damon.
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Very good.
It's been a while.
Very well. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've been super busy, and just everything's gone. It's busy. It's the crazy season, so we're just winding down a little bit from our as the weather cools down. So does the workload, hopefully. Yeah, we kind of did a full cycle on all of our prefectures of the week. So we're going to go back around to Okinawa, but this time it's going to be a little bit different because we have a question here from Ollie in Ohio, and he said, "I'm heading to Okinawa this December. Where do you recommend to stay and play, and what good après golf is there? And I'm also interested in historical sites." Ryan.
Oh, I'm jealous of Ollie there. Like, would love to be going to Okinawa right now. Just out walking around on Tokyo streets. Like, I need to get some new socks or something because my toes are going to fall off. It feels like it's getting chilly. So
It was super cold the last 2 days though, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Good time to go to Okinawa. So Damon, what do you reckon for Ollie? Where's good to head to?
I mean, there's so many great courses in Okinawa. Obviously, it's absolutely peak season at the moment, so the prices are a little bit higher.
Yep.
But does he want to stay and play or just play?
I think it's a stay and play, right? Because it's a trip, so he's obviously going to go and stay and play.
Yep. Okay.
Well,
so
let's cover both.
Yeah. Well, the stay and play courses, there's probably only a couple there. The ones that really stand out is the Ata Terrace. That's on the west coast of about the middle of Okinawa, and then on the east coast, pretty much similar area, but on the opposite side is the Kanucha Golf Resort, which is another great place
very
to stay.
popular.
I've actually stayed in both of them, and fantastic places to stay and to golf.
I've stayed in at the terrace. That's where the G4 was. That's where.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. I mean, this is a good few years ago, but the G4 was there one time. Yeah. So it's a very nice hotel. So it's definitely got a luxury resort vibe.
I actually went there during
beach.
COVID under the what was it called? The discount.
go-to camp.
Yeah, the
That was
go-to
awesome.
travel or whatever. Yeah, we spent Christmas down there. It was fantastic.
Christmas. I actually did Christmas in Okinawa a few times. Yeah.
I met the Kanucha. They have a hotel. I met Kanucha, and they have the people who are doing Kanucha, and they have an office in Tokyo. And it's funny because they're all wearing the Okinawa shirts, like kind of like Hawaiian style shirts and things like that. Just up in.
That's right. They go for that. They give you a little welcome drink, which is always like mango iced tea. Okay, cool. And what's the story with Kanucha? Does that have 27 holes, 36 holes?
It's just 18.
Okay.
18 there, but the amount of accommodation there, it is just amazing. They have accommodation really all over the golf course and in their main area near the main building there. But they've got like house style accommodation, villa, apartment. Some of the villas, they have like outdoor spas on the verandas looking over the golf course. It is really good. A lot of restaurants on site as well.
That's cool. Okay, I'd definitely like to go to Kanucha. That's the one that they have it's like a flower as the logo. Yeah. Okay, cool. And what about Miyakojima? Because I know, shout out to Miguel. He went there last year, and I think while he was there was a typhoon blew through. But I think he was staying in Miyakojima, and there was a couple of golf courses there. Nice resort. Do you know anything about that one?
I do. I was actually there about a month ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went there for 3-4 days. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play any golf, but what a place. I mean, it's very famous for its beaches and its clear water. So we stayed in the resort. I can't remember the resort.
Joe, how did you get there? Did you go directly or?
Yeah, directly. It's about 3 hours.
Okay. From Tokyo?
From Tokyo.
Yep.
It's from Haneda. So, yeah, pretty simple. And it's obviously the airport's, it's not a very big place, and we hired a car, and it's really easy to get around. Yeah, beautiful place. It reminded me a little bit of Guam.
Yeah,
that type of feeling, and even like it was cooling down here, but still really quite warm there.
I was just checking it
very
out
tropical.
Now. Emerald Coast Golf Links.
Yep.
I think there's 3 golf courses. I checked them out.
Yeah.
and from
This
the
place looks
pictures,
amazing.
sorry, 4. I've been told 4. So 4 golf courses there.
We're just receiving word.
Yeah, that's right. From my mate Damon over there, but they look really, really good. Very all coastal golf courses too, I think. So really
I'm
nice
just checking
views.
out the price.
Is it right that you can get there by ferry as well from the mainland of Okinawa?
I don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe even from Kagoshima.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just looking at the prices here for the Emerald Golf Links. 27,000 yen on the weekend and 24 midweek. Now this is peak season, which is from December through to March end. Because Okinawa being a southerly island, it's just a nice temperature right now.
Yeah, beautiful.
Fantastic. All right, cool. Well, that was Okinawa.
Wait a minute. Didn't Ollie ask about like kind of like
He
things to
did.
do or historical stuff or?
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's interested here. What you have to say? Go on, hit us with
This
it.
is Ryan's specialty.
History
Off you
buff.
Go,
Wow.
He's
Ryan,
raring to go there.
Here we go. So yeah, like did you know that Okinawa is the newest addition to Japan? So it's actually
No, I did not.
the most recent.
Like volcanically?
Well, like maybe that too, but just that it's up until about 1879, it was the Kingdom of Ryukyu. So kind of like similar to Hawaii in a lot of ways. It has a lot of commonalities with Hawaii in that, but it's like a new. It was annexed by the Meiji during the Meiji Restoration, actually. But they have a history going back there of people living in Okinawa going back 30,000 years, at least. And it has its own like language and ethnicity and things like that. But
So is it like a sovereign state in a way back in the day?
that's right, the Kingdom of Ryukyu.
Ryukyu.
Yeah,
Okay.
and but it's so situated between China and Korea and Japan to some degree. So there was like during the 1400s, it was like the golden age of trade there, and then during the Meiji Restoration, which is where the emperor kind of took back control of Japan from the shogunates. Then that was through more like political maneuverings. They seized Ryukyu to make it turn it into Okinawa. And then, which was kind of through political pressure, also with China as well, and things like this. But then there was a suppression of Ryukyu culture, so that's kind of an ongoing thing even today. That the natives there, it's mostly it's absorbed now. It's just part of Japan, but there is still sort of undertones
language.
of the natives there.
It's a weird place because obviously it's heavily influenced by the US as well. Because there's a huge US base there, and apparently a lot of people in Okinawa, especially during the 50s and 60s post-war, had to learn English, right? Because it was direct control by the bases there, right? So it wasn't under the Japanese governmental control. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, even it didn't become part of Japan again. So the U.S. seized it until 1972. So
1972. Yeah. So a lot of the older folks speak English there.
Yeah,
and that kind of thing. Okay.
It's funny because it has like 1% of Japan's population, but 70% of America's military in Japan is in Okinawa. So it's a huge presence in terms of that.
Well,
Okay.
it's a strategic location, isn't it? Part of the Pacific
Totally.
Rim. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
But despite like what I was saying in terms of like some of the native population being suppressed or whatever, of course the culture is still strong, and the castle there of the former king is a UNESCO site. It's the birthplace of karate.
That's right.
Karate.
Wow.
Karate Kid. That's
Shout
where he
out,
came
shout
from.
out to Shotokan Karate.
Mm-hmm.
Funakoshi Sensei.
And Mr.
That's where he came
Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi lived.
That's
Well,
right.
where he came
Oh,
from.
really?
Yeah.
That's right.
from. Hang on. The real Mr. Miyagi is Funakoshi Sensei. So he was the one who invented modern day karate.
So that's
We're
a true
talking
story.
Pat
Yeah.
Morita.
I
from
did
the Karate Kid.
Shotokan Karate.
Really?
Shotogun.
Shotokan.
Shotgun karate.
Right.
Shotgun Karate.
I did Kyokushin.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Full
so
contact.
what about the food of Okinawa? Because or I'm going to be brutally
I don't
honest
like
there.
it.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bit. It is. What's that stuff called? Champion.
Champon.
Champon.
I think that's aren't you thinking of Goya?
Goya.
Yeah.
That's the one.
hate
The
Goya.
vegetable.
I don't mind
And they have this
Goya.
pork dish
Really
as well,
like
right?
sticky.
Yeah.
Everyone's eating the pork champon and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's a
that's-
bit
that's
average.
pretty
What about
good.
Orion beer? It's not bad.
Ryan's
good.
beer is good.
Yeah.
Ryan's beer.
Yep. I
They-
bought a
they
couple
got
of
good beer down
t-shirts when
there.
we were there. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got that, with the alcohol, they have that awamori. You guys had that
Oh.
where it's sake, but it's with a long grain, kind of like a Thai style rice. So it's got a bit more nutty maybe flavor, but it's a different distinct flavor. But the real good stuff down there is they have a venomous snake called habu, and they do habushu, where you can imagine like, different cultures have like, scorpion or whatever in their
Like the
alcohol.
Thai, they put the cobra in.
Yeah, so they do that with this venomous snake called habu, and it's actually becomes like semi psychedelic.
Oh no!
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I've had it too, and I know.
But it's
whether
legal.
the-
It's legal.
It's what it is really is like I had it in a bar, and you're just like all the colors are just popping out a little bit more. Like when somebody tells you, you're like, yeah, okay, I know it. Yeah, maybe this is psychedelic, but it's not like gonna knock you off your pants except for the alcohol content.
Can you buy it on Amazon?
Yeah, I think so. You can buy it. You could probably you go down to
Habu.
it's around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
Very
you can. Yeah, I'm sure there's Habu. I've heard of that snake before. Yeah, so that's a poisonous snake, but
Right.
it's black and it has a red on it.
I
Or am
think
I
it-
thinking of Mabushi? I can't
That's
remember.
mamushi.
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 Anyway, sounds awesome. Let's go down to Okinawa and drink some of that stuff. Play golf. Who needs gummy bears? Sorry. What?
I want to go down to
I don't know what that
Okinawa.
means.
They've got eco villages down there too, where it's all like pesticide free, organic lifestyle, all that kind of hippie island life. You can get that up in those places too. Mm.
All right, cool. All right, well, as always, we have our guide to Okinawa, and then we have all the golf courses listed on the Golf in Japan website, so please check that out. Got another question here, which is probably more aimed at you, Damon. Sika from Singapore is asking, do golfers need a registered handicap to play in Japan? Great question.
It is a great question. I suppose it's a question we get asked quite a lot. The simple answer is no. So most golf courses, I would say 99.9% of golf courses in Japan that we can book certainly don't need any registered handicap.
I think we did talk about why handicaps don't work in Japan before, don't we? Didn't we? When you go to a competition, the handicaps never work because Japanese people are so modest. They always say, "Oh, I'm a really bad player. I'm just terrible." And you say, "Okay, well, what would you normally shoot? 100, 100." And then they'll go out and dust you with a 74, right? So that's why they invented Shimperia and everything like that. So the handicap system is not really. They do have one. They have a JGA handicap. But it's not really prevalent here. You don't need it to play anywhere.
I suppose maybe like some of the more exclusive courses, Joe. What do you reckon? Like I'm just guessing Kasumi or something to become a member.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to have a handicap or.
Yeah, I think members are only going to take people out there who are, who know how to play anyway. So I don't think it's super important. It's interesting coming from somebody from Singapore because they have what's called a PC card, which is a proficiency certificate, which allows you to just gain access to some golf courses in Singapore. And then they're really, really strict with handicaps. So anytime you want to book a golf course in Singapore, you have to have your handicap. So
Hong Kong too,
that's the question.
Yeah, probably the reason. So that's why it's always going to come from people from Singapore. That's probably always going to be their first question. But I would say here, no. I mean, we don't ask for a handicap for any of our golf courses. We just hope that the people that are playing our courses are seasoned golfers and they're going to keep up with the group in front and things like. And I sort of screen people a little bit and ask them, and most people come back and say they've got a handicap. But if they don't, we don't preclude them from not playing. They're still welcome at our golf courses, but we just sort of ask them to keep up.
Gee, that sounds like profiling.
Why would a handicap be so squishy? Because it seems like it's data driven, right? So it's like it's not something that you can you can lie about it or make stuff up, but so there's a bit of that. But at the same time, it's just whatever it is. Like you count the strokes, you count it up. Is that not right?
No, I think it's more about golf courses wanting people that, like Joe said, that can actually go around in
you'll know yourself,
required
mate.
time.
A golf course, when you it's a form of purgatory to be actually waiting on every shot because the guys in front can't play golf, right? So I'm not saying everybody's like that. A lot of guys they're very how do you say, cognizant that they want to keep up with the group in front, and if they're going slow, they'll pick up or they'll move faster. But there are guys out there who just don't know the etiquette because they're brand new to golf, and they'll just slap it around, and you're standing behind them saying like, "Well, I want to miss. I don't want to get stuck in the traffic on the way back to Tokyo, right?" And it's adding an extra hour or two onto the round just to watch them,
I mean, some of the golf courses, the golf carts now actually have. They're monitoring the time of your play, and if you're too slow, it gives you a graph like fast or slow, whatever. But if you're really, really slow, the alarm starts going off on the golf cart.
Really?
Yeah, and it sounds like one of those earthquake alarms. It's quite scares the bejesus out of you.
Yeah.
But that's why.
I quite like that actually. You know, because you feel quite accomplished when it says you go into the red if you're slow, and then you go into the blue.
Yep.
It says like you're going perfect speed. Good for you.
Gamification,
awesome. Yeah. No, that's good. Okay, that was a good question. We got another one here. This happens. We get this question all the time. What happens if it rains?
Good one. Yep.
Play.
Keep swinging.
Play.
Play golf. Yeah, it's
Get
an
an
all-weather
umbrella.
sport. Get out there.
I think the question, though, it could be a little bit two-pronged there. It's like, can I cancel if it rains, or is the golf course still going to be open if it rains?
Or what happens if there's a typhoon?
Yeah. So basically, the golf course isn't going to close unless it's really, really torrential rain, rivers, that type of thing.
Yeah, unplayable greens. Yeah.
That's right. But so golf will go on, but you can't just also, it's raining, I'm going to cancel.
Yeah.
So if you book a course, you book a tee time, it's raining, tough it out, you'll have a great time.
Yeah.
Agree.
I guess to follow up on that, under what conditions would the golf course cancel? I mean, what does it take for them to say like you can't play today?
Exactly the same as back home. It's if the greens, I think, is the good indication. If they're flooded and you can't put on them, then you're going to damage the golf course with trying to slap it around. So that's it. You stop playing.
Yeah.
Basically, if you need a wedge on the green, it's not playable.
Yeah, unplayable greens, but also if there's lightning in the area, which I don't think we get a lot of lightning here. But in Singapore, as soon as there was lightning, you got to get off the golf course.
In the spring, we get a fair bit of lightning actually, because it's the hot and cold air clashing with each other. But they'll sound the siren in that case, and there's usually places on the course where you can take shelter for a while. Then they'll hit it again to start playing. But actually, these new carts with the iPad and stuff, messages saying "come back" will pop up, or lightning in the area, stop playing, that kind of thing, which is cool.
Go to the cover house, whatever they're called.
Okay, cool. Well, that's it for the questions. But just if anybody is listening or watching this and wants to ask us anything about golf in Japan, please hit us up on social media. Just DM us. One of us will check it out, or you can email us at info@golf-in-japan.com. Cool. All right. Rory McIlroy, Joe. Let's talk about Rory for the next 20 minutes at least.
He won. Finally. So he won the
convincingly.
Race to Dubai. Yeah, he had one of the Højgaard twins.
It's
on
his
his
sixth.
tail. Yeah, I think it's his sixth European tour. Like, what do they call it? It's called the Race to Dubai now, but it used to be called something else. I think Montgomery's the leader.
Order of Merit?
With Order of Merit, yeah. So Monty won it 8 times, which is unheard of. And Rory's at 6, so he's going to get it done.
At 35, for sure.
Yeah, and what was interesting is he only played, I think it was 10 or 12 events, whereas some of the other players below him had played, 25 events, so he's won it, easily. But it was great to see him finally win after a lot of close calls. And he was quite emotional about the whole thing too. Did you see his interview?
Yeah, start crying a little bit.
Yeah, he did. I think it's had a pretty tough time with losing the US Open to Bryson, and then
Missing that putt.
Yep.
So now, like, maybe he can be known for tears of joy instead, right?
And the Open.
Yeah, and then there was the one at the Irish Open where he lost that. He 3-putted 17 and lost by a shot there. So obviously it's building up, and it's nice to see him be a little bit emotional like that. He's a champion. He's a superstar.
It's good to see him win before he goes to live, I think. So.
Actually, interestingly, seeing all of the live players back on the DP World Tour, and it's very sneakily, they're all back in there.
Yeah, they need the world ranking points, don't they?
Yeah,
I've got to say, it was a pretty good lineup at that event.
Tyrrell Hatton was leading, wasn't he, after 2 days? I believe.
I thought Rory was leading just about every day.
No, Tyrrell played well.
Maybe he was second. They were playing in the group together 2 days, weren't they?
Yeah, when he broke his club. I can't remember what round that was in. Did you see that when Tyrrell? I mean, I think he often breaks a club. Yeah, he snapped a club, just sort of leant on it.
He's awesome.
He is. Actually, one of the commentators was having a little bit of a go at him. He was getting a little bit tired of his antics and said it's not a good thing for Tyrrell to be doing that sort of thing when there's young aspiring golfers watching this on television, and they sort of think that's the norm and it's okay to do. So he just does it too often. Although I really like him.
Yeah,
he's always interesting. Where's his
they're
heart?
his clubs, they're his clubs to break. So.
Yeah, they are.
He's a great golfer.
Yeah,
he's an amazing player.
If you break a club, you can't. You're one club down for the rest of the round.
Yeah, if you're breaking in anger, you can replace it if it just breaks in normal sort of play. But yeah, he's broken a few over his time. So yeah, but I'm happy for Rory. Good on him.
Yeah,
he's a champion.
What else did we have?
Do you want to talk about some golf?
Bermuda.
I'd love to talk about some golf.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I think I might have mentioned it, maybe in the last podcast, we had the Taheo Masters on 2 weeks ago, which is probably, I would say, behind the Japan Open and maybe the Dunlop Phoenix, probably third in the rankings in terms of prestige. And we had Ryo Ishikawa won his fourth, well, it's the fourth time he's won it, which is great for golf. We found that I was there on the Thursday and I was also there on the Sunday, and because Rio was up at the leaderboard coming into the last round, the crowds were as big as I've seen them. So I've been 10 years in a row, and it was easily, and I walked in and I thought, wow, God, what's happened? Maybe there was free entry or something like that, but it wasn't. It was just because Rio was there. And he won, I think he's won it, I should know this, so he's won it 4 times. It might have been twice as an amateur and twice as a professional, or if it's not, it was once as an amateur and then 3 times as a professional. But it's always good for golf here, which I'm sure you'll all agree. Every time Rio wins, it's good because
it's a shame he never really.
Here.
I think he was chasing distance, wasn't he, when he was a young man on the tour, on the PGA tour, and it never really panned out for him.
Yeah, he played for 3 years over there and it didn't quite work out for him, and then he came back, and he's only 33. I'm going to have to look a little bit sideways at my iPad because I've got some stats here which I found quite interesting. So he's 33 years old. He's won it 4 times. He's already had 20 wins, which is now he's tied 9th on the all-time Japan for wins. So if I look at the top, who's at the top, guys? Who do you think? Jumbo's number 1. 94 wins. Actually, I think somewhere there's more. That's official wins. So I think he won a whole bunch of other smaller events as well. So it's up over 100, which is just, he was winning every other week.
Yeah.
So that was 1973 to 2002. His winning streak went from. Isao Aoki is number 2. Tommy Nakajima is number 3 at 48 wins. Joe Ozaki, so Jumbo's little brother, has got 32 wins. Shingo Katayama, which I'm sure most of you remember, with the
old cowboy hat.
Yeah. He's still out there, actually. He's playing on the seniors tour, but he also plays on the regular tour. Still a really, really good player. He played at the Tahoe Masters as well. So he's 5th at 31 wins. Masi Kuramoto, who's still out there on the seniors tour, is a little bit older. Masi had 30 wins. Sugihara, Teruo Sugihara has 28 wins. Big Sugi, who you probably wouldn't know, but he's a old man now, if he's still alive. Yuta Ikeda, who's still out there, is 21. And then there's Rio, who's in with Graham Marsh, Toru Nakajima and Toru Taniguchi, all on 20 wins. So he's in pretty good company there. And he's only 33, so he's going to get well up the order. I think it's going to be tough for him to beat or to get above 3rd, which is Tommy Nakajima at 48 wins. But he's a winner and he's still young and fit. And
good on him. Really like Rodeo.
So do I.
If Matsuyama was playing on the Japan tour exclusively, how many wins do you reckon he'd knock up?
Yeah, he went up. Yeah, he's a completely different level. And that's actually moving on to the next event, which is the event last week, which I have always watched, but for some reason I didn't watch it. It was the Dunlop Phoenix at Phoenix Country Club in Miyazaki. And did any of you watch it, guys?
They just had that silly just the first hole thing.
Yeah.
So I watched on Saturday just the first hole. So I got to see everyone tee off.
Everybody tee off.
And then that's it. Then it went and it was showing a Bermuda Championship from 7 years ago. That's the Golf Network in Japan. I'm sorry if anyone from the Golf Network is watching or listening to this. You're fired.
Yeah, just everybody teeing off
rubbish,
the first.
man. Rubbish TV. I think they just don't have enough cameras or something like that. But it looked like it was dreary weather. It was difficult conditions.
Yeah. And look, not unfortunately, but the winner was an American guy called Max McGreevy, who's a good player. He plays in the PGA Tour, but I'm sure none of you have ever heard of him before, have you?
Max McGreevy.
Exactly.
Can't say I have.
So he finished at 22 under. He won by 4 from Sean Norris, who's a South African who plays on the tour here, who's having a really good year. I think he's 4th or 5th on the order of merit. The human one iron, Akshay Bhatia, came 3rd.
Oh wow.
He was here.
Has he put on any weight?
No, he's trying to apparently.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
Yeah, and now going on what you were saying before, Kieran, that Hideki came tied 2nd at 18 under. So there was 3 of them. There was Sean Norris, Bhatia, and Hideki came tied 2nd at 18 under. And then Scott Vincent he's a South African from the Live Tour, was over here playing as well. So other than that, I think there was only 1 or 2 other Americans who are over here. It usually attracts a really, really good field from overseas, but I just don't think they can afford them these days. Which is a bit of a shame. But Hideki, I think that's the only event he plays on the Japan tour for the whole year. Oh, sorry, and Zozo. Yeah, so it's only 2 events, which is a real shame. Because he used to come and play the Tahoe Masters every year because he's won it a few times, but that's obviously below him.
Yeah. So. I don't like that golf course. I've played it twice now. I'm not a big fan. It's just all trees. All the holes are
just
confusing.
trees.
Look the same.
Yeah, it is very samey, isn't it?
It's a killer clubhouse. It's nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Nice clubhouse.
How different is it from the Tom Watson course that's part of the establishment there?
So Tom Watson course is right by the sea, so
Mhm.
it's got a lot more wind and it feels a bit more exposed. So it's more of it's a shorter course, but I think it's a good course. And then that one is it's inside a forest, so there's
Right.
trees all around on every hole.
Like
And
what,
it's
like Narashino or something? Or
different type
shorter
of
trees. Yeah, so they're sort of linksy trees, quite short,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of them. There's not really too many trees, so if you go and get in sideways, it's hard to.
and there's no OB or anything like that, so you're just
Chipping
chopping
out.
air around.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's hard to get through them. And I played in the summer, and it was baking hot down there. I mean, and there wasn't any wind coming in over those trees. I just couldn't get anything. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. Saying that though, they do have night golf.
Yep.
And
Do they?
Yeah, they do, and which is better. And you can go with luminous balls and play 9 holes twice if you want. The same 9 holes is lit up. And then also the Sigaya Hotel next door is absolutely brilliant.
Mhm.
It's killer.
Mhm.
It's a great place for kids. It's a great place for everybody. It's cool.
yeah, very very popular with our clients as well.
What area of
Together.
Japan
Yeah.
was that again?
In Miyazaki.
Miyazaki,
Yeah, right on the water.
So they've actually just been bought out, haven't they?
They
The group.
have.
That's what we were talking about it the other day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Accordia
Yeah.
guys bought them the Fortress
Fortress,
private
yeah.
equity.
But nothing to do with Accordia though.
Nothing to do with Accordia
Mm.
yet,
Yes.
but it might be. Cool.
Yeah. Sorry. We'll talk a little bit about the ladies' tour as well because we have to. Because I don't know if we talked about the last time, but the Toto Classic, which is the co-sanctioned event between the Japan ladies and the girls from the US, come over and play. So the Toto Classic has been held at our Minori course a few times, and this time it was held at Seta Golf Club, the North Course.
Oh, nice.
And
Down in Shiga
Yes.
prefecture, right next to Kyoto.
There you
Yeah.
go. And it was won by our girl, Rio Takeda. So that's her 8th win.
We did talk about this last time.
We did.
At the time, Nelly only had 6 wins, and we were
Yeah,
comparing
now
her to
she's
Nelly
at
Curran.
7.
Now Nelly's at 7 and she's at 8,
Yeah.
and she's got her card now.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's the only player who's won this year, Rio, who's not going to be in the ladies' championship. She's not going over to play in the
Really?
tour championship. I don't know why.
Oh, no.
Maybe she's just a little bit worn out from winning. Anyway, she won in a playoff. Sorry, we did talk about that. A couple of weeks ago was the Itoen Ladies Tournament at Great Island Golf Club in Chiba. Hinako Yamaguchi beat Yuka Yasuda by a couple of shots. Rio Takeda actually played in that event and she missed the cut. So she's actually missed a couple of cuts this year. I mean, she's still leading the money list by forever. And then last week was here's one of these tournaments again, the Dario Paper Ladies Open at Eloair Golf Club in Matsuyama. How do you pronounce this, guys? I'm sorry, I should have done my homework. Ehime.
Ihime.
Ehime.
Ihime.
Ihime.
Ehime. Okay, in Ehime. Miyo Yamashita won over Ai Suzuki, which are both great players, and Rio Takeda came third. So she's
always up there.
She's back. Should we talk a little bit about the PGA Tour just
Let's do
quickly?
it.
I thought that was a really, really good story. Did you see it, guys?
Yes.
Rafael Campos won. He's Puerto Rican. It was over in Puerto Rico at
Yeah.
the Butterfield, Bermuda.
Very emotional.
Port Royal Golf Club. He was emotional, but it was
Goodness
really,
me.
really nice to watch. He's had a really rough time. He's missed 12 or 14 cuts.
Right.
Plays in that event every year. Obviously gets a start because he's Puerto Rican and he's a good player and he seems like a good guy. And I think he had his first child on Monday and he's been missing obviously all the cuts and then goes out there and wins. And I watched it really carefully. You know, he missed a couple. Did you see a couple of the putts he missed towards the end? I mean,
yeah.
he missed a couple of putts that there was one putt that may be the shortest putt that anybody's ever missed on the PGA Tour. He missed that and he made a great up and down on the last to win. He won by, I think he won by four shots, 3 or 4 shots in the end. But it was good to see. He's a Titleist guy as well, so full line Titleist guy and has been for a long time. So
It sounds like his prayers were answered.
oh, Ryan, it was, it's almost worthwhile if anybody's listening to this and they want to watch it. Just jump onto YouTube and go and watch the highlights and watch his interview at the end. It's very, very heartfelt, interview, and he seems like a really good guy. And just them talking about the upside of his win of getting an invite to the Masters and invite to all these different events, and it was sort of blowing him away a little bit. So it was nice to see.
They also had the course record broken, didn't they?
Yeah, 61 by one of the
Wesley Bryan.
Yeah, Wesley Bryan. Yeah,
That's pretty impressive.
That's the
Yeah,
YouTuber guy, right?
YouTube star. So I think he unfortunately was near the lead after 3 rounds, and he had 3 over in the last round when everybody was shooting lights out. So he fell down the leaderboard. But it's nice to see him back in form, because I think for him to be on the PGA Tour is important, because he has a huge amount of followers. I don't think he's doing it
seriously, though, is he?
I think he's almost... He said the other day in an interview that he actually prefers the YouTube thing compared to being on tour. But I think he needs both of them, and he's been a winner before. He's won a tournament before, so I like having him out there, because it's him and his brother are interesting cats. Yeah, George, both really good players. So,
fantastic.
So I hope hopefully he does well. Sort of starts him for the rest of the year. Guys, the only player that played in Puerto Rico was Ryo Satsune, who was from the European Tour, who finished tied 29th at -8.
Hoshino's actually just going back to
DP World Tour.
DP World Tour. He got his card through the DP World Tour for the PGA Tour.
So he finished 16th on the race to Dubai, and it's the top 10 get into the PGA Tour. But there's obviously a lot of the guys in the top, between 1 and 16, were already exempt for the PGA Tour, and that's why he gets in. I mean, that's massive. He hasn't had a lot of great finishes, but he's consistent. It makes all the cuts, finishes midfield. He's had a few good finishes. Amazing. But what a great story, on the PGA Tour. So it'd be interesting to watch his form next year, because he's a really good player. I followed him a couple of times during the Tahoe Masters, and he's good. He's really good. And Keita Nakajima finished 38th, so he just maintains his card on the DP World Tour for next year. And one last thing, Yuma Ono, my student, is playing. He's actually playing right now. So he's playing in the Casio World Open down in Kochi, and he actually, I'm not going to go and find it. He was a couple over after 9 holes, so pulling for Yuma. hopefully does okay, because the leader, Ricky Kawamoto, was like, he was 7 or 8 or 9 under through 16, so the golf course is not playing too hard, but hopefully you do well.
Cool. I was going to ask you, are we allowed to talk about the new Titleist balls?
Yeah, I think so, because Echeverria, who won at the Toto Classic, yes. He actually won it with the 2025 ball, so it's out there. So we have been given.
Yeah. Shout out to Titleist.
Shout out to Titleist, who have given us the white box. So it's like I don't know if you call it a prototype ball, but it's the ball that they're going to be using for next year. I don't know any information about it other than I was given a couple of dozen Pro V1 and Pro V1X and handed out to the guy to try. So I guess we will report back after they've been sliced into the woods.
Don't expect them back, mate.
I know you're not talking about me.
Right. How they perform.
Yeah, wouldn't it be wild if they're like, please don't use them, because we can't let them into the wild and be found by other people.
I like the box. Very cool.
Yeah. It's like the whole prototype thing. Yeah. So there you go. And that's pretty much it in terms of the golf side of things.
Okay, cool. I want to keep talking about Titleist balls, because I recently discovered Left Dash, even though it's been going since last year sometime maybe.
Yep.
And they go forever, and they're straight.
They are.
Yeah, I didn't even realise. I was like, these balls are different. And
they
then
are
I was
different.
Like, Left Dash, that's how I discovered them.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
I've been banging on about it for a while, because a little bit of a humble brag here. About a year ago, I played it in an event at our Yachio golf course, and it was the first time I used it, and I had a hole in one. And I've been using it ever since, but I like it. I think it definitely goes further when I hit it off the middle. I've played with it a few times around Gatemba, and I've ended up in some spots when I've hit it properly that I've never been before. It feels a little bit more clicky around the green, so chipping and pitching and putting it feels harder, which I don't mind too much because of the performance otherwise, because it goes straighter, because it spins less. So for anybody out there, it looks very similar. It's got the red number on it, but it's got the Left Dash on the box. So if anybody's out there and they're wanting to try something a little bit different, give it a whirl, because I highly recommend it. And I'm using. I'm not sure how many.
It's the Pro V1X Left Dash.
Correct.
Pro
V1X
Left Dash, Pro
Left
V1X.
Dash.
Yeah. So it's really cool. It goes much straighter, longer.
It does. It's
more
a good
penetrating.
ball.
It's noticeably different.
Yeah.
Because if you have like a couple of different balls in your pocket, and I always have Pro V1s, but they sneak in there. It's amazing. It's totally different from the others. You notice the difference.
Yeah, it is different.
Anyway, enough about that.
This might be a dumb question. But do these like work well with like a simulator golf and stuff like that? Like somehow like
no, it's not a dumb question. It's a good question.
That's a good question. Yeah,
depends on the simulator.
I think a lot of the times. Sorry, Kieran, you go. I've talking too much.
No, you know more than me though. That's the point.
All I would say is a lot of the time in simulators and driving ranges, you're using range balls, which I would say like a low compression, like an 80% ball doesn't go as far, and they can do funny things through the air because the dimple patterns and the the compression of the ball is not great. So using proper golf balls in simulators, especially if you're using launch monitors, is an absolute must.
Titleist do have the RCT balls.
Yep,
they do.
Which basically get picked up by the radar better.
Yeah, gives you better spin rates.
Yeah, so Titleist developed that technology about 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it would be about that.
With all of the manufacturers, FlightScope and TrackMan in mind. So that's a ball that goes performs like a Pro V1, but it's set up for you only use it on the range or on the simulator.
Yeah, Ryan, that's a good question, because I think if anybody's ever serious
well
about
done, Ryan. That was a good question, mate.
They should be using proper golf balls. The only downside, of course, is it becomes expensive.
How is Wall Street over there, by the way?
Doesn't he look sharp?
The yen is still down compared to the dollar, so it's looking good for tourism coming to Japan. I tell you that. So.
The tourism numbers are insane at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. Over tourism.
Lots of people coming in.
Yeah,
golf, even now, or are they getting set up for next year? Or
that's what he was saying.
We've got so many inquiries for 2025. Unbelievable. Yep. Can't answer them all yet, though, unfortunately. Okay. A lot of the golf courses not releasing their tee times till about 3-4 months in advance.
Yeah, we're 3 months, and then we're 5 months in Karizawa.
Yep.
But don't worry, we'll get you a tee time.
100%.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of getting an interesting balance going with the tee time bookings in combination with like getting a custom fitting for clubs or even just a club demo. So like all the major club manufacturers that we're working with are all getting a lot of inquiries of people saying, "Hey, I'm coming in. I'm going to play this course. Can I go over here and whack some balls at the shop?" And that seems like that's going really well too.
Yeah, good.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we got to wind it down because we're short on time, people. But great to have you guys, and
nice
we hope.
Back.
Yeah, we're gonna knock this one out pretty quick, and we look forward to getting you all back in next week.